those were the Foxton days. Why did you decide to leave? Because you're obviously doing really well. You got top salesman. It's it's a prestigious brand to be working for. You're working in one of the top areas of London. Why jump ship?
So it was 2018. Sorry, 2018. No, sorry, 2019 actually. That I just first discovered the famous Ryan Serhant. And as soon as I started watching his videos, I said, okay, pause. I was like, this is very good. I was like, what is the equivalent to London? I was like, who is the London equivalent? So I started searching up on YouTube, and I thought about it specifically more so on YouTube because I like the actual content creation. Obviously, I'm aware that we have Instagram here and we've got some famous Instagram heads as well, like Daniel Daggers, Tyron Ash, for example. But I wanted to see who's actually focused on content creation because there's an art form to it and there's obviously an audience for it as well. And pretty much found that there's few drips and drabs, but there's not a consistent basis, or there isn't, a kind of go-to person that people would know on that particular platform as kind of your go-to, and as a result would be quite beneficial for the other platforms as well. So I then pitched to my directors at the time. I said to them, look, I think this was a really good way that the industry could be going. I think we could maybe trial this and see, kind of what we could do, especially for like the top performing negs, maybe having, more of our faces out there. And they were actually quite open to the idea. My directors are really, really open. So they allowed me to do a trial video on one of the properties and managed to get a landlord to agree to it. So then I did that, presented it to them, and then COVID-19 happened, which is obviously the story of 2020, essentially. So what happened is when we came back, because of obviously what happened with the business, I said, look, now's not the priority or the focus for that. We kind of want to focus on other areas. So I gave it a couple of months, but in my mind, because I had started to think about this basically a year from that point, a thought in my mind was saying, do you know what? I have a feeling that it's going to come down to a point that I'm either going to have to do this myself or I'm going to have to wait an even longer period. But because of the letting side of me as well, I think that's probably what didn't help, is the fact because I have such a sense of urgency and I'm always not fearful, but I'm very, very conscious that there are competitors out there, because if you're not sharp to the ball, somebody else will get it. And I think that's what Lex taught me the most above everything. Like you need to be sharp. Like if you're not sharp, somebody else will literally pick up the business that you leave behind. And that's what it comes down to. So in that sense, I saw it as this could be a massive opportunity that somebody like me who's having the same thought now, somewhere else, wherever they're doing, could be using this to get ahead. And I can't allow that to happen. So eventually I decided, you know what, this is probably the best time. I obviously live in London as well. This is where I've grown up. So if I'm going to be taking such a massive risk, I may as well do it now whilst I've got this time in my life as well, because it's going to be the best time and I'll have no regrets.